Oluchi Oparah, the national treasurer of the Labour Party, has accused Julius Abure, chairman of the party, of allegedly misappropriating 3.5 billion naira. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja yesterday, Oparah said the 3.5 billion naira was raised from sales of forms and fundraising activities in the build-up to the 2023 elections. The national treasurer said she was compelled to raise alarm because the internal mechanisms in the party has failed woefully to hold Abure accountable of brazen abuse of office and misappropriation of party funds.
By virtue of my office, everything about my office entails money. I don't handle another thing apart from money. And when I don't receive a lot, it's as good as not doing anything. When I don't even know when money comes in and goes out, I've done nothing. And what am I treasuring if I cannot say this is what has happened to the Labour Party money? If you could recall, during the campaign, a lot of us saw my video of when I was begging the public that they should come and support what we are doing. My video was out there, and then a lot of people contributed their 1,000 naira. And up till now, I can't even tell them this is what their money was used for. And I think I owe it to a large number of people to explain to them. And recently, there were videos, people were making media outings, calling me out to come and explain to Nigerians what has happened to the money contributed. And talking about the internal mechanism, yes, I have actually exhausted every internal mechanism. I've written a series of letters to the national chairman, and each of the letters I wrote, I sent a reminder telling him that I needed this thing done. But as usual, he fell on deaf ear. He will not listen to anybody. Yes, Mr. Peter Obi is the leader of the Labour Party, quite all right, but he doesn't run the party. Everything starts and ends with Barrister Julius Abure.
Joining us now on the show is Oluchi Oparah, the national treasurer of the Labour Party. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Morning to you. How are you doing this morning?
Very good. Well, Oluchi Oparah, national treasurer.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us from the studio in Lagos?
I can hear you very well. Good
Excellent.
morning.
Yeah, let's start with the basics. I hope you are aware that the allegations you have raised may be deemed libelous per se, except you have concrete proof. That's number one. Number two, I hope you are also aware that the spokesperson of the party, a gentleman called Abure Ifo, has responded to the allegations you raised yesterday. One, that your statement was written for you by external influencers whose objective is to just tarnish the image of the party. Two, that the party never made any amount up to the tune of 3.5 billion naira from the sale of forms. Three, that the Labour Party has internal mechanisms to streamline its finances and establish controls, which you oppose. In fact, he accused you of trying to cash out, and that you had been trying to find ways in which you can be settled. And that because that failed, you have now taken a press statement from external persons who want to destroy the party, and you've gone to the media. Finally, he argues that the party accounts are usually audited, and that INEC also regularly oversees the accounts of the party. In other words, he's accusing you of trying to malign Julius Abure and the committee that he leads, and also, doing the bidding of enemies of the party. Are you guilty as charged? Let's start with that.
Thank you very much. This is laughable. Because what I said yesterday, I spoke the fact, I said with authority that these things are out there for verification. Right. When I said that they're out there for verification, I also want to state the fact that they are master at disseminating wrong information. What do I mean by that? When facts like this, issues like this are being placed on the table, the right thing to be done is for them to carry out an investigation. And I'm speaking from this place of strength, asking that the right thing should be done. Now,
they are always quick to accuse anybody of being sponsored, especially from the opposition party. I want to state it clearly here that if there is anybody that has any alliance with the opposition, is the national chairman of Labour Party. Let him come out here and say that he has not been in talks with this government of Edo in Edo State. I raised the issue of allegation, issue of money laundering, misappropriation, and a whole lot of embezzlement that happened. And I also stated the fact that the late national chairman of our party, may he so rest in peace, A.A. Salam, that his signature was forged 2 months after his death to withdraw money from the account. How on earth did he come out from his grave to come and sign signature? How on earth? So if the national chairman feels I'm lying, let him come out clear and say that I have lied against him. Now, to the issue you also asked about the money that we have raised, the national chairman of our party has not given me the authority. I don't even receive a lot as national treasurer of the party. So what am I treasuring? I don't even receive emails whatsoever pertaining the account. We've got over 3.5 billion naira, and I'm saying it with everything that I'm saying it with. Let me start for instance, national chairman of our party doctored an audit report of over 2-point-something billion naira. And he brought to me for me to endorse my signature. And I said, no. How on earth did we get this kind of amount? Because I never knew that we had such an amount of money. I'm only aware of the 55 million that passed through my account, which I've also tendered. I've also explained to the world. I've also given letters saying this is how those money were spent. Then, the off-cycle election in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo State, we got 958 million naira. Now, the rerun that happened a few weeks ago, party got over 30 million naira. This present Edo election, we've gotten over 200 million. Now, add it up. These last figures I've given out, plus the over 2-point-something billion naira. What are we talking about? The money runs into billions. But because the national chairman of our party is full of this seats, he's not the person he claims to be. Maybe because of the size of his body, that's like people tend to believe him, and because he wants to leverage on our leader, Mr. Peter Obi, and also want to buy the sympathy of people. I want the people to also know that he's not who he says he is. And I'm saying that the public sec of our party, Mr. Obiora Ilo, is not in the position to clear Abure of any allegation leveled against him. I charge the Barrister Abure to come out clear and tell Nigerians that I have lied. And I want to state, because I've written a lot of letters, I said that the internal mechanism failed. Yes, it actually failed, because I've been pursuing this for the past 7 months. Check my letters. If I was being sponsored, then why did it now take this long? Because I was trying to exhaust everything exhaustible before I can now come out clean. Then, just last week on Friday, what the national chairman normally does is, when issues are being mentioned, are being raised, instead of him to tackle the issue, he handpicks the people that bootlicks him. He handpicks them to come and do the job for them. And at the end of the day, those ones will clear him off every allegation and suspend and recommend for suspension. And I'm not one to sit down and watch things go wrong. I want national chairman to come out clear and say that I have lied, and say that monies have not been embezzled, and say that monies have not been transferred to individuals' account, to families' account, to wives' account, to brothers' account. Abure runs the party as if it's Abure and Nigeria Limited. Right. Did you know why I'm really pained? Just this week, just 2 weeks ago, a young staff of the office her account was being used to launder money, to transfer money. And she doesn't even know, unfortunately, that she might be going to jail. And a woman for that matter. And I'm a woman, I'm speaking for her now, because she doesn't even know the gravity of what she has done. Why would national chairman send 10 million naira to her account, only for her to send the money to another account that will get to national chairman? National chairman should come out clean and say that I have lied against him. That is what I'm insisting, that nobody should speak for him. And anybody speaking for national chairman is not being sincere. It's not being fair. Because if we are preaching transparency, we should preach it with our full chest.
All right.
We can't keep on criticizing everything, while corruption is eating deep under us. Chairman should come out clean and defend himself. And Obure Ilo should not do that for him. And at the end of this, they are not in a position because everything about me is money. I am the custodian of this money we're talking about. So how on earth? In fact, let me even shock you, Nigerians.
All right, let me come in here, Ms. Oparah. Let me come in here.
Carries printers in his car. Does the work of everybody.
All right.
In fact, he carries the check. So what am I even doing?
Okay, Ms. Oparah.
What am I even treasuring?
Ms. Oparah. He
does work of treasurer, secretary, everything. He has printers in his car. He can decide to do and undo.
All right.
So Nigerians should come out and ask Abure to come out and explain to them. Let him not be on the defensive side. No, he should come out and explain that I've lied. In fact, I'm going to put out the account number.
Allegations, and there's still a lot to probe in terms of questions. We'll come back to you very shortly. But Dr. Batu-Rufai, she's spilling a lot of things. She says she's not satisfied with Mr. Obiorah's speaking on behalf of Barrister Julius Abure, that he himself ought to come out.
I think for the level of transparency that we support here, I think Mr. Abure too should please be invited to Arise TV to come and give his own part of the story. Because it's not just fair for her part to say her part without Mr.
She's done a press conference yesterday.
Responding to all of this. I think it's only fair for probably our producer and everything to bring Mr. Abure on too, so that Mr. Abure can say his part. Or if possible, I would have loved an engagement where both of them, Abure and Oluchi Oparah, should sit on the same platform when she makes the Abure response to it and brings, clarity to this matter and all of that. I mean, we had a little technical glitch. We cannot hear that, so that the audience does not think we caught Oluchi Oparah off, because the audience can be very funny. So we did cut Oluchi Oparah off. We had a technical something. We cannot hear her. That's why we have to. She can't hear us. Sorry. That's why we have to take a quick break. But once we can reestablish contact, she will, be hearing us. I will be able to ask her more questions. But I think it's only fair for Mr. Julius Abure to be here to explain his own side of the story. And probably so we can have both parts for it. I mean,
well, the important thing is for Julius Abure himself to come forward and defend his reputation, because his reputation is on the line. And the principle is, audi alteram partem, thou must hear the other side. So it's important to have a balanced, presentation in the matter. And then, of course, I hope Oluchi Oparah herself realizes that when you make allegations, you must prove those allegations. Otherwise, you fall guilty of defamation.
Okay. All right, we have Oluchi Oparah back with us, National Treasurer of the Labour Party. Welcome back. I'm sorry about the slight technical glitch, but great to know that you're still here. I was going to ask you a question. I was trying to jump in with regards to, you said that the internal mechanisms of the party had failed woefully. And you alluded to the fact that for the last 7 months, you have tried to pursue this matter by writing a series of letters that had largely been unattended, or they had been unresponsive, or perhaps excuses had been made. You also mentioned that the chairman of the party, Barrister Abure, had also engaged the services of hawks, or perhaps people who were complicit in terms of auditing the accounts of the organization. But I want you to share with us in detail, now that we have you here, what steps did you take? In detail, not just, I've written letter, who did you apply to? What did you do? What were the responses like? Has Mr. Abure himself at any point responded to you? Rufai said when you were off for a few seconds, that it was important to bring Barrister Abure himself here to respond to some of the things or some of these allegations that you have made. But I want to ask you, who did you speak to? What steps did you take? What were the responses? And then has Mr. Abure himself spoken to you or responded to you, aside from his spokesperson?
Okay, I have written a series of letters, and I have recommended that an external auditor be involved in the auditing of the accounts. Because I was shocked for him. I was shocked when he brought a doctored, who works audited account for me to sign. And let me remind you that in all of the letters I've written, I have not gotten any response. The highest response I got was that everything pertaining accounts is confidential. To who?
Who did you write
To
this?
me?
Who was it?
As a treasurer?
Was it Barrister Abure that responded in this manner?
Yes.
Responded? Okay, so you wrote the letter.
I've always to National Chairman Barrister Abure.
Okay.
Then through the office of the National Secretary, I was responded to,
Okay.
telling me that everything that has to do with finances is confidential. To who? That is my office I'm talking about. I don't do any other thing in Labour Party apart from money. Why would they now tell me that everything about me that is confidential to me? That means they have one or two they're hiding.
All right.
And I insist they come out clean to tell Nigerians that everything I've stated here, that I'm lying against them.
Have you had any meetings in terms of the National Working Committee, the board of the party, any meeting at all where you could have put up your grievances, and anyway, has this been addressed in any way? Because 7 months is a long time. At that time, at least 1 or 2 meetings ought to have been had. Were you invited to such meetings, and did you bring up these allegations at those meetings, and what were the responses?
Yes, thank you very much. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 or more meetings regarding these issues. And in each of these meetings, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi was present at the meeting. And he has tried, in fairness to him, to intervene. But again, because Abure feels he owns the party, doesn't listen to anybody, he has tried to make him see reasons why I should be allowed to do my work, my job. For me to even receive a lot. For me to know when money comes in and when money goes out. After each meeting, the national chairman will be like, oh, okay, that things will come out right. But yet, nothing has changed for 7 months. And my colleagues are out there saying that I'm trying to do this and that because I'm being sponsored. No. And I even laugh when the National Pop Sec came out to say because I'm asking for one of this. Let me state it here, that Abure has tried to induce me with cash. I refused. He came to my house with a car gift. I refused. He offered me a new house. I refused. I want the right thing to be done. Let me bring change in my own time.
Okay.
Let it be on ground that I'm fighting for the right thing.
Okay.
I want to be that woman that will speak up for the right thing to be done.
Okay. Couple of things. Number one, and I think this is a real challenge to Mr. Abure. Mr. Abure would like you to come to Arise TV and present yourself so that we can hear your part of the story. If you do not come, then it speaks volumes. I'm challenging you live on TV here. It's best for you to come. This is not a time to hide or move away or respond through surrogate secretaries or whatever they are. You yourself must come and clear all of this against you. You also made an allegation just now. You said he induced you with car gift. What are the evidence you have for those inducements? Were they documented when he did it? That's number one. Secondly, I can see that there were some letters that had been written prior to this time, to the managers, Zenith Bank PLC, Abuja, request for account statement. I can see there was a signature on it, your signature and everything. Were those letters honored? Maybe the one written on the 3rd of August 2022, to be able to, was request for account statement for the month of October. Were those letters honored? 3, what empirical evidence do you have that he forged signature? Who was the forensic expert that confirmed that Mr. Abure forged signature? Are there other things that Mr. Abure has done that you might not have stated in your press conference that you would like to also state here? But let's have them with facts. And Mr. Abure, this is a challenge to you. We are calling on you to come to Arise TV here to explain your part of the story. This is not the time to keep quiet. This is the time to come to defend yourself, and you have the platform. I challenge you, Mr. Abure, please come.
Yeah, Mr. Abure, the national chairman of Labour Party, has been involved in Syria. He's been involved in Syria criminality. I said earlier, maybe you didn't get me, maybe that was when this thing went off, that the late national chairman of our party, A.A. Salam, died on the 29th December 2020. And February, after his death, I'm still wondering how he came from the dead to come and sign a check that only Abure, as at that time, was the secretary of the party. I'm wondering how he rose from the dead to come and sign that check for Abure to clear money. These monies were cleared from the 28th of February through the 7th of March. These monies were paid in 2 batches, 14 million naira, 7 million naira. Let Mr. Abure come out here. Let him also give, let the account also be reactivated. This account is at Sedi Plaza here in Abuja. Account number, let me state it again for people that have access to go and verify. It's 1010-984-346. Zenith Bank here in Abuja. Let's even know how Mr. Abure was able to get those signatures that made him withdraw monies from the accounts. These are my evidences. Go and verify. They are not skyrocketing. They should go and verify.
Have you done any forensic work on that signature that shows that it was forged from what was? Did you get any forensic person? Because before you can establish criminality, you must have a forensic fact. That's why when you use the word serial criminality here, do you have any forensic evidence as regards that signature?
What other forensic evidence do I need to have? That a man died 2 months after his death, his signature was used. What other forensic evidence do I need?
Who verified that the signature was forged? That's what I'm just asking.
Let me ask you, my brother.
Yes.
Somebody died. Okay. The family of this disease was still grieving. The national chairman did not even consider their state of mind at that time. What he was just after doing was how to withdraw money from those accounts. What other evidence do we need? Did he sign the check for him? No. The national chairman, even until his death, we didn't have any money in that account. This money came in after his death. So how could he have signed signatures for him before his death, knowing fully well that we did not have money in the account?
Okay.
Let's even assume that he signed signature before his death. Morally, was it not wrong of him to have used the signature of a dead man to withdraw money from the account? Let's even assume he signed it before his death.
Okay.
And the National Treasurer was not even aware of it.
Ms. Oparah, before we begin to wrap up, let me ask you, which faction of the Labour Party do you belong to? Are you a sympathizer or a member of the Lamidi Apapa faction? And all of this about money and all of that, you mentioned Mr. Peter Obi earlier on. Before going public with your allegations, did you even make any effort to speak to the leader of the party and to, tell him this is what is going on? Because you mentioned his name earlier on. And are you with the Lamidi Apapa faction?
I am the National Treasurer of Labour Party. So I'm speaking from a place of strength. I am not in any faction. And, they will always want to attribute it to the fact that somebody is being sponsored whenever you speak up the truth. I can't be there, I can't be in a place where things are not done the right way, and I keep quiet because of the information that will be passed outside to make people believe that somebody is being sponsored. I am not being sponsored. I am not in any faction. I am the National Treasurer of Labour Party. And in fairness to the leader of the party, Mr. Peter Obi, he has tried severally to intervene. But as usual, the national chairman sees himself as the owner of the party, like an emperor. He can listen to you and still go back to go and do what he wants to do. Can I even shock the public here that national chairman sends in documents, say, for instance, to the INEC, before resorting back to the NWC to start the discussion? He sends letter ahead of time before coming to us for discussion. In a said environment, the said thing would have been discussed in-house before it goes public. I feel embarrassed when I get to see things out that was never discussed, and I get to hear them outside of the party. And I've tried to talk about this issue of information dissemination. And because he feels he can do the party however he wants to do it, because he feels it's Abure Nigeria and Brothers Limited, because he feels it's a personal property, because he feels he can do and undo. And let me remind everybody here that he has even made the state chairman to be in state of panic, because he has never really permanented their stay in the office. He has made them to want to always worship him. He has always made them to be caretaker committees, caretaker chairmen. By so doing, they won't be able to speak up. Because anybody that tries to speak up, he trashes the person, he fires, he replaces without even consulting the NWC. For goodness sake, this is a public institution and not a private firm. If he wants a private firm, you can go to his Abure chambers, do that there, and not a public institution like Labour Party.
Well,
let me remind us here that the said audited report that we are the second largest biggest political party that is yet to submit 2022-2023 audited report to INEC. And why is that so?
Well, Ms. Oparah.
Why is that so?
Ms. Oparah, well, we'd like to thank you very much for joining us on the morning show.